Look at the weather.
It's beautiful here.
Non-stop rain.
Oh, man, it is a blazer out there.
It's cold and it's shivery.
It is cold.
Really coming down here.
I really enjoy your weather reports.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, we're talking weather in a whole new way. From historical events to what's coming up, plus weather news, science, safety, fun facts, and more.
I like where this is going.
This is Weather Weekly. Weather Weekly with Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey.
This is Weather Weekly. Good to be with you here on, we are recording this April 12th, Tuesday, April 12th, and we are doing a special Storm Talk edition of Weather Weekly this week as we are anticipating severe weather chances, not only here in the Midwest for Wednesday, but this has been kind of a multi-day event that started yesterday on the 11th with several tornadoes reported in Arkansas, and it's going to continue for the day on Tuesday and then shifting eastward on Wednesday. So a multi-day potential severe weather outbreak event and central Indiana included in at least one of those days. We're going to talk about the details of that severe weather threat that we have heading our way and when you can expect it. All the details you need to know for your Wednesday severe weather risk. It's coming up next here on Weather Weekly.
Audible's romance collection has something to satisfy every side of you. When it comes to what kind of romance you're into, you don't have to choose just one. Fancy a dalliance with a duke, or maybe a steamy billionaire. You could find a book boyfriend in the city and another one tearing it up on the hockey field. And if nothing on this earth satisfies, you can always find love in another realm. Discover modern rom-coms from authors like Lily Chu and Ali Hazelwood, the latest romantasy series from Sarah J. Maas and Rebecca Yarros, plus Regency favorites like Bridgerton and Outlander. And of course, all the really steamy stuff. Your first great love story is free when you sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
Special edition here of Weather Weekly. This is Storm Talk for Tuesday, April 12th, 2022. I am meteorologist Marcus Bailey. Good to be with you here. Thanks for following along. This will be a quick podcast update. We'll likely do another one for Wednesday, the 13th as well, as we gear up for severe weather potential across the Midwest. We just kind of want to give you a heads up. So we have already had one day of severe weather. Had some reports of tornadoes that started in the plains. We had some tornadoes reported in parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas. There was actually a tornado emergency declared near Little Rock, Arkansas on Monday evening. And there has been some damage reported near the town of Mayflower, Arkansas. They also had baseball and softball size hail reported with some of the storms in Arkansas as well. So this system then kind of gets its act going again and will produce severe thunderstorm chances kind of in the same areas, although the highlighted areas, there's a couple of areas here. You have to go up into Iowa, parts of northwestern Missouri, eastern Kansas. So major cities included in that are Des Moines and Kansas City. And then there's another area here. And again, these are both what we call enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms. So that is heightened risk, or if you want to go on a scale of 1 to 5, that's a level 3. We call it more numerous severe thunderstorms are possible. Dallas to Austin included in this, but you have a large area that's kind of at a level 2 out of 5, or what we call a slight risk. Houston, Shreveport, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, all included in that. And there's even some major cities in a marginal risk, or a level 1 out of 5. Milwaukee, St. Louis, Louisville, Rockford, Illinois, included in that. Memphis, included in that as well. So several cities that are going to be included in some sort of severe weather threat here today. But, when we use the term outbreak, and I don't know if we get there, but I do think we'll have numerous severe thunderstorms at least. We could have some tornado tornado warnings as well. I would specifically say that that's going to be closer to where we call it a triple point, right? So it's where this low pressure and a cold front and warm front all kind of match up, and you've got a lot of ingredients that are going to help the atmosphere really spin what you would need to create some rotating supercells. That's going to be in western and central Iowa. There is a 10% chance for a tornado, and it is an hatched area, so that also is a 10% or greater probability of an EF2 to EF5 tornado within 25 miles of any given point. The rest of that risk area that we've talked about, either a 2% or a 5% risk, it's not zero, but certainly not the high focal point. Wind, maybe a bigger focal point down around that Dallas to Austin area for the day today. Now, well, that's going to be kind of concerning for the day today. I think tomorrow is a higher probability or more widespread severe weather. Now, this just coming from the I'm going to read you straight what the Storm Prediction Center is going to say, and then we'll kind of break it down a little bit. So this is for Wednesday, the 13th. So their summary: numerous severe thunderstorms appear likely across a large portion of the lower mid-Mississippi Valley into the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and Southeast on Wednesday. Damaging winds, some of which could be significant. Several tornadoes, some strong, and large to very large hail will likely occur. When you specifically talk about our area here, we're going to be kind of in that same area. I was talking about that triple point. We're going to be kind of in that area where tornado threats are going to be a little bit higher here for the day on Wednesday. All right. So, and it's not just us here in Indianapolis and basically all of Indiana in that enhanced risk, or that level 3 out of 5, but it stretches all the way down to northern Louisiana. And what's interesting is Little Rock, Arkansas had to deal with tornadoes for Monday evening. They will have another opportunity at that, not only today, although maybe a slightly lower risk, but tomorrow they ramp up the risk again. Probably more of a straight line wind threat for Little Rock. Jackson, Mississippi, Nashville, Tennessee, all under the gun. St. Louis, all under the gun for tornado threats as we go into your Wednesday. So I think damaging wind is still going to be the main concern here. When you look at the SPC's page, it's a 30% risk in that enhanced area. That basically includes all of Indiana, and then basically the southern half of Indiana. So from Indy and Point South, there is a hatched area. So, probability of damaging thunderstorm wind gusts of 50 knots or higher. So again, 58 miles per hour is what you're looking at, or higher in the so that means a 30% chance for pretty much the entire state of getting at least severe thunderstorm wind gusts. It's 58 miles per hour or higher. 65 knots. So that means you're going at 70 plus. All right. More so 75. You're getting closer to 75 mile per hour wind gusts or higher in the hatched area, and that's going to be from Indy and Point South. So wind, certainly the highest concern. Tornado threat is at a 10%. Indy is included in that, and Point South. But we're also under a hatched area, so that means there is a 10% or greater probability of EF2 to EF5 tornadoes. So there are some probabilities that we could have some strong tornadoes in there. We're on the northern edge of that threat. The heart of it basically is right around Memphis. All right, if you're kind of painting a picture, this threat stretches all the way down to northern Louisiana. The 10% risk stretches all the way up into central Illinois and central Indiana. We're on the northern edge of that. So the bullseye for that severe weather and tornado threat is basically Memphis, Tennessee. All right. In terms of timing, so how we kind of think this is going to end up happening is, I think, at least specifically for central Indiana, this is going to come in 2 phases. All right. So let me flip over to the North American high resolution model and kind of give you the timing. So my thinking is what we're probably going to see is we're going to see these, and Wednesday will be an interesting day because I think we're going to have rain chances pretty much all day long. And so that could play a vital role in how the day plays out. So I'm skipping ahead to the model here. And I'm going to start this at 6 a.m. I think 6 a.m. Wednesday morning, we're going to have some scattered showers around the state, entire state. Some thunderstorms possible. And basically from 6 a.m. to noon, we'll have some of these scattered rain chances, maybe even into the mid-afternoon hours. So the big question tomorrow will be for us specifically in central Indiana, all right? Because it will be a different situation in other states, but specifically because that's what we forecast for is for the state of Indiana. How much energy will these morning and early afternoon showers and storms take out of the equation for us later in the afternoon? The particular models that we've looked at least shows some recharge potential between the hours of 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. And so the thinking here is we may get some isolated supercells developing out ahead of what will be a big, long squall line that likely races through our state by mid-evening, thinking probably 6 p.m. to maybe midnight. For the squall line, we could have some isolated supercells before that. And so any of those supercells that start to develop, those could rotate and you could have a tornado risk there. Okay. The line in itself, I think you're more of a damaging wind threat, and that's that 75 mile per hour plus. But you could have some embedded tornadoes as well. So it kind of comes in a 1-2 punch. And again, the morning convection is going to play a big role in this. But even if we only get a couple of hours of dry time and a little bit of sunshine, that's going to be plenty enough to kind of recharge the atmosphere for what's heading our way. Okay, so again, like we've said before, make sure you stay weather alert for Wednesday. If you live in central Indiana, make sure you have a way to get warnings. A weather radio is best. You can also use our free Storm Track A weather app. It's a great tool to alert you. It is based on your location. So if you are a traveler, it will alert you if you are traveling anywhere around the state, around the Midwest, heading into Wednesday night. So if you need to take shelter, it will give you that guidance there heading through your Wednesday. Okay. So we'll do another update Wednesday. We may kind of tag it along with a Facebook Live so I can answer some questions, but just wanted to give you an early heads up on what you need to be aware of. Again, kind of going broad brush time frame of 3 p.m. to midnight for severe weather potential. Again, that squall line we're thinking is probably going to be closer to 6 p.m. to midnight heading into your Wednesday night. So make sure those are time frames that you're staying weather alert heading into your Wednesday. We'll take a look at the rest of your week forecast coming up next here on Weather Weekly. Here's your extended forecast for the week of April 11th. Mild temperatures here early on. Obviously, 70s on the way for today, which is the 12th, Tuesday, and 70s on the way for Wednesday. I'm going with a high of around 71. So we're going to be dealing with potential for severe weather then once we mentioned for Wednesday afternoon. So we'll keep an eye on that. Thursday, Friday look to be a bit more quiet. Highs around 60. We'll have a return of sunshine. Holiday weekend, Easter weekend coming up this weekend. Man, it flew by, didn't it? Kind of on the cool side. I think we're dry both days. 58 on Saturday. I went with a high of 55 on Sunday. So yeah, kind of running on the chilly side for the holiday itself. And unfortunately, we're kind of going the wrong direction in terms of temperatures early next week. The long range as we head into, let's see, that would be the 18th on Monday. The National Blenda models went 49. I went low 50s for Monday and Tuesday. So kind of a chilly start to the work and school week for the 18th and 19th. By the 20th, we're into the mid-50s. Thursday and Friday, it looks like we should be getting up to around 60, which is slightly below average. And the 8 to 14-day outlook has been pretty consistent, which would take us to near the end of the month of a good signal of below average temperatures. So when you're getting into the latter portions of April, you're talking average highs in the mid-60s. So upper 50s, low 60s may be kind of common for the second half of April. So just turning that corner just yet. So not seeing any real frigid stuff, but still certainly too early to plan anything. There's a couple of mornings, it looks like Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, the 19th, the 20th of next week, where we could be hovering around freezing. So if you got anything that's starting to blossom a little bit, that might be a time you want to kind of protect some stuff. All right. So keep a heads up on that. Again, keep a heads up for a new release of the podcast tomorrow. Again, we may coordinate doing a Facebook Live to get some live questions about any severe weather potential that we may have for your Wednesday. So make sure you're staying tuned for that, and make sure you're tuning in to Wish TV. We'll have fresh updates. Ashley Brown with you on News 8 at 5, 6, 10, and 11 for your Tuesday. You can check in with our new meteorologist, Ryan Morse. We were going to interview him today. We're going to move that to next week now that we have this severe weather potential, but he'll keep you updated on social media as well. And of course, Stephanie Mead and myself will be updating you on Daybreak starting at 4 a.m. Wednesday morning. While you're here, make sure to check out all the other great podcasts, all part of the All Indiana Podcast Network.
Discover more from Storm Track 8 Weather and Wish TV. Online at wishtv.com, and when you follow Wish TV on Facebook. Plus, be sure to check out more great podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.